The Royal Rumble is tomorrow, and it's time to talk about who are the female superstars that could turn up and give us a surprise in the Rumble match. We're going to get into it in just a second, so stay tuned. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking Royal Rumble Surprise Entrance. And I'm not alone. I have a really special guest all the way across the pond that's going to come and discuss these special entrants for the females Royal Rumble, a little bit of a prediction show. We've got 8 of them. So I'd like to welcome my guest for today, Anthony from Rated R For Rasslin.
Hey, what's up, Max? How's it going, bro?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on. It was great last night. For those that don't know, we were on Anthony's channel, Rated R For Rasslin, last night. We're doing this exact same list for men. So straight after this, go and check that out on Anthony's channel. It's linked in the description already, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, man, you threw me some names that we're going to discuss today. I mean, how you feeling? Royal Rumble coming up anyway. How are you feeling about it?
I'm super excited for the Rumble as usual because it's like my favorite event, like I said yesterday. But it's one of the more unpredictable ones I can remember in recent memory, mainly for the men, right? Because there's a lot of people we could pick and choose who could win that match. But yeah, one of the women that I told you about today, I actually stole it from somebody else. Another guy. Make sure you check him out. His channel is Assemble. Make sure you check his videos out and stuff like that. But yeah, I got it from him. One of those people. It's a bit of a long shot, just like how you said Jay White yesterday in the men's episode. Yeah.
No, we've got some long shots in here. I think we've got some controversial picks in here. It seems that you and me like our controversy. So we're gonna get into it in just a sec. But guys, before we do, please make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button. And like I said, down below in the description is the exact same video, but for men, that we did on Anthony's channel, Rated R For Rasslin, last night. So please go over to his channel, subscribe to his channel, and check that one out as well. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. The top 8 surprise female wrestlers that may turn up in the Royal Rumble. And we're going to start off with one of Anthony's picks. It's none other than the controversial one herself, Tessa Blanchard. I mean, Anthony, take it away. What are you thinking when you say she's going to turn up?
All right, so we all know the baggage that Tessa Blanchard has right now after her whole fallout with Impact, after she was the world champion, first woman to hold the world championship, and then she kind of just stopped showing up or stopped bringing in her pre-taped and interviews and stuff like that. So they got rid of her, and she's been, believe she's been hanging out in Mexico. She got married in Mexico, so she's just been hanging out. There's been a lot of rumors of who's going to bring her in. I was thinking AEW at first, but AEW doesn't really shine the women as much as WWE does. So this could be a big time shocker and an immediate player directly going to the main roster and immediately jumpstart the women's division on the main roster, most likely Raw or SmackDown, because they're lacking on both sides. But she does bring a lot of baggage, a lot of attitude issues. There have been a lot of rumors out there that she's been had attitude problems for a long time now, and that may continue. But when you come up to the big leagues, which WWE is the top dog, the big leagues, it's a different story how you handle yourself. But it should be interesting to see if she does end up happening. But if she does show up, she's definitely going to have one hell of a run in there. I think they should do the same thing that we talked about yesterday with Jay White and how they did with AJ Styles. Bring her in the beginning of the Rumble and have her let her go on a run and kind of be the Iron Man for the most part all the way through. And she's not going to win. We all know that. Be one hell of a surprise if she does, but it'd be awesome if she would come out, with all the baggage she has coming with her, and it'll be like an internet blow up. I think that's probably the best thing about her showing up tomorrow night, is that it'll blow up the internet. Most important thing.
Yeah. 100%. And WWE, they like to be the center of conversation, the center of attention. The thing is with her, WWE is, in my opinion, the best destination for her, and it seems to be the most likely destination for her, especially because AEW have kind of said, Tony Khan's already said, people have said stuff around bullying for her, people have said stuff around racism for her, so he's already hands off about those kind of things. And we know Vince kind of has a history of sweeping those things under the carpet, and he doesn't care about that so much. So despite AEW being the new up-and-coming company, they could do with a star like Tessa Blanchard in their women's division, and her father is already working in that company. yeah, WWE is the best place for her. I've thought for a long time now, it's a question of when she's going to turn up in WWE. And to be honest, there is no better time than the Rumble.
Yeah, it's the best spot for, like I said, because AEW doesn't really shine the women as much as WWE does. You look at the women's division, AEW, it's lacking. I think to me, Britt Baker's the only one that's actual star in that division, in that company. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that was number one, Tessa Blanchard. Moving on, this was one of my picks. Someone that's apparently a free agent right now. That is Taya Valkyrie.
Ooh.
Now, Taya Valkyrie, I don't know too much of her. I've only kind of really put Impact on my radar recently. I do know she is the wife of John Morrison, currently performing on Monday Night Raw. And she's apparently out of contract at Impact. A good, able hand she can go. Someone they can bring in to WWE, probably straight to main roster. And she could fit right in. I don't see her doing anything amazing, like winning the Rumble, becoming women's champion anytime this year. But it kind of just makes sense. Her husband's there, and she's done what she needs to do in Impact. If she is a free agent, this is kind of a no-brainer. What do you think?
Yeah, if she is a free agent, it's a big time move for her to go to WWE. Her husband's there, so most likely, she probably do the same thing Chelsea Green did with Zack Ryder. She's with him, so she moved over to the company. She got signed. She's definitely like an NXT product. I think she goes directly to NXT if she does show up. But actually, that's tough because they do have the thing where they like to keep couples together on the same show. But since everything's being taped in the same general area, they might kind of just have it for on NXT for a little bit. But it would be one hell of a surprise for Taya Valkyrie, because I personally didn't know that her contract was coming up. So if it is true that her contract is coming up, it's a logical move for her. Even though Impact, it's on the the uptick since making the moves, and now since working with AEW, it's on the uptick. I believe Deonna Purrazzo is still the current Knockouts champion. So the division's pretty good on Impact, but again, you want to be closer to your loved ones, your family, so you want to move and over to the company where your husband's at. It makes a lot of sense. It does.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's apparently that is the thing going, that she's a free agent. She wasn't included in Impact's recent tapings, which they done. So I think for most people, that's the biggest giveaway that she is a free agent. Yeah. Interesting that you said that she would go on NXT. Obviously, we know the NXT women's roster is absolutely stacked. But yeah, I mean, in the same breath, you raised a good point that right now everything's being kind of recorded within Florida. So until people start traveling around and things like that again, maybe it is an opportunity for her to come be in NXT, or like I said, I think she's good enough to just go to the main roster, fit in somewhere within the mid card of the women's division and keep it moving.
Yeah, so, geographically too, with Tampa and Orlando, it's only like 45 minutes apart from each other, so they generally are close to each other. So geographically, it all works out for her to stay in NXT for just a little bit before we get back to normal, and she can go back to the main roster with her husband.
Yeah. She doesn't have to have like a mega long stint on NXT. Yeah, because she already knows, the fundamentals of performing on TV. Cool. So that was Taya Valkyrie. That was my first pick. We're moving on to Anthony's second pick now, and we've gone into legend status. Someone that we've seen at the previous first couple of women's Royal Rumbles. That is Trish Stratus. I'm a big fan of Trish. Love every time we see her. I think it's just one of those people that we recognize and relate to from our childhoods. What was your thinking behind Trish Stratus being one of your picks for a surprise in the Women's Rumble?
Well, I feel like since the Women's Rumble was first brought up, first started in 2018, it's just been, you kind of get the same kind of heads coming out every time. Like, you're going to get maybe a Kelly appearance, maybe a Tori Wilson appearance, Molly Holly, stuff like that. You tend to get the same people, probably Michelle McCool even tend to get the same people. Now, it was said today that Mia Yim, Reckoning of Retribution, will not be in the Royal Rumble because she tested positive for COVID-19. So, one less person. I could see Trish making an appearance. She stays in tremendous shape all year round, and she's a legend. So they could have both. They could go with both Lita and Trish coming in here. I could see them eventually putting Trish maybe in WrestleMania as well. They could do like a dream match up there as well. But I could see that happening. Maybe Trish getting face to face with Bailey or something like that we could see in the Royal Rumble, or her face to face with, Charlotte again. There's a lot of ways they can play it, but it makes a lot of sense to me just because, obviously she is a legend. I've been a huge Trish fan as well. She's kind of the pioneer for the current generation, and it makes a lot of sense to me because they always tend to bring back the original people because they don't have a ton of women compared to the men when it comes to the roster, right?
Yeah,
so they got to fill up those spots with a lot of old legends and stuff like that. We'll most likely see a Lunger Blaze. We might most likely see the same people we've seen over and over again because they like to fill it up. Unless they go heavy NXT this year, I think we're going to see a handful of legends, and Trish, I think, is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everything you said is right. And you know what? When you said Kelly, Molly Holly, all of those guys, Michelle McCool, that was actually going to be my list. But I thought, nah, let me think of something more exciting because, it's a bit, like you said, it's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
Big up to Anafi, tuned in, Suave, my bro Del Boy. Thank God Mia Yim isn't in the Rumble. Oh, that's a bit harsh, bro. That's a bit harsh. She's all right. But, now that you say that, that's kind of worrying because obviously her partner is Keith Lee. So is Keith Lee now isolating? Is Keith Lee actually not going to turn up in the Rumble? I think you've just broken some news on my channel.
I got the alert this morning about, or maybe like even an hour ago. So it's interesting. Yeah, her and Keith Lee are an item. I believe they do live together. So it's going to be, that's going to suck if Keith Lee isn't in the Rumble because he's my number one guy to win the Rumble. So that's going to be bad stuff.
Looks like you might need to make a new pick.
I think I didn't put money on it because I'm screwed right now.
Yeah, but like you said, Trish Stratus is I'm very sure, the only thing I'm sure that would stop her from not being there is, travel maybe from Canada down to Florida or something like that. But I'm pretty sure that is a face that we could most likely see tomorrow night. My next pick, this is someone that kind of a dark horse just because she's not on the main roster, although she does work for the company. Someone that I think they've kind of fumbled the last year or so with her, but they could shoot her right back to prominence by putting her in the Rumble and then her going on to win it. Rhea Ripley. I think this is someone that a lot of people have spoken of as a possible Rumble winner. So to some degree, she would be a surprise entry into the Rumble just because she's on NXT. What do you think of Rhea Ripley entering this Rumble, which I believe will be her first Rumble, and winning it?
It's a bit of a long shot for her to win it, but I've said this before on my channel. I think Rhea Ripley is the biggest star in the female division that they have. I think she is an absolute rock star, megastar in the females division, and I feel like if they push her correctly and book her correctly, she'll be up to the level of Becky Lynch was when she was the man. So I think that would be the case. But for her winning it, she's going to be, if she's in it, definitely Final Four. Definitely. Without a shadow of a doubt, Final Four. She will be part of that Final Four in the Rumble. She may be the final two. And she maybe get eliminated by, some of the other women, whoever we choose as our favorites or whoever might win the Rumble. But her herself, she's so talented, so imposing of a figure physically gifted in all pretty much every aspect. She's solid on the mic. And she has one hell of a look to her, to be honest with you. She has like that real rocker look to her, and it comes off well on TV. And I think just her size in general, because she's the only person that really I see matching up to Charlotte Flair in terms of physical stature. Yeah,
actual physique. And you know what? It's because she's different. She looks different from the rest of the ladies. So I think that will kind of give her a lot of stock in terms of the higher ups' eyes. But yeah, I just think she's got a ready-made story there with Charlotte. So I'm really expecting to see her. And like I said, she's one of my top 3 picks to actually win the whole thing because, that story with Charlotte. We know Charlotte's somehow going to go into the Royal Rumble as women's champion or after the women's title. So, I think I expect to see Rhea Ripley there. We see Anafi in the comments. Damn, no Keith Lee. Yeah, man. Anthony's just come here and just broken all of our hearts.
I'm the bearer of bad news today. Yeah, to be honest with you, like, we don't know yet, right? No Keith Lee. We don't know. I'm assuming WWE is like scrambling right now to find out if Keith Lee is okay to make it into the Rumble. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I mean, I've heard a lot of cases where some people who live in the same home have it, and then the other people don't get it.
Don't have it.
It could be that case as well. But yeah, I mean, damn, no Keith Lee. You're right, man. That's bad stuff.
I think it's kind of going off topic here, but we kind of got to ask ourselves, was Keith Lee the person that actually gave it to Mia Yim? Because Keith Lee wasn't on Raw last week.
That is true. It could be possible. Yeah. That's another thing too. Yeah. He's been out for 2 weeks. So it's, around that time period that they give you for the quarantine, all that stuff, if you are positive. So it could have been that. Honestly, it could have been, but they just kept it kind of hush hush, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Arpit, thanks for joining, bro. He said, believe me or not, I was just thinking about the fact Keith would miss the Rumble. Oh, man. Del Boy, Rhea Ripley is a great shout. Yeah, I really do expect to see her at the very minimum. She's not going to challenge to win it. And Arpit says, Ripley eliminating Flair and then a match between them at Mania where Rhea wins the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely getting some revenge on Charlotte Flair from what happened last year. So those are our first 4 names. We're going to get into the next 4 in a second. Just everyone watching, whether you're watching live or watching this back, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you've hit the thumbs up button. Like I said, down below in the description, I did this exact same video yesterday with Anthony right here from Rated R Wrestling. We spoke about the men's surprise entrance. So you can check that out in the description below and subscribe to his channel as well. Next up, another one of Anthony's picks. This is someone that has had a bit of a stop-start on the main roster. We've seen her for like 5 minutes. She's gone again. We see her for another 5 minutes on the other show. She's gone again. We are talking about Chelsea Green. It is said that her wrist or arm that she broke in a match on SmackDown on her SmackDown debut is now healed. So it's very likely that she could be entering here. I guess that was the thinking behind this pick.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know how severe it was. She's just run into a ton of bad luck, right? She's had a couple injuries on NXT, and then her first, when she finally showed up on the main roster, she got injured as well. I think that's more or less what it is. I think she's finally healed up. She's been at home for a long time, training and stuff like that. If you follow her on Instagram, she looks tremendous, in tremendous shape. And, I believe she's going to show up here and hopefully not get hurt again, be honest with you. I think she could be a solid piece to the women's division. I find her entertaining because if you remember her stuff in TNA with the hot mess look where she was like, the messed up bride, she's entertaining as hell. So I think she could pull it off. She was doing well when she was part of the Robert Stone brand, left that in NXT. And then I was excited for her when she showed up on Friday Night SmackDown, even though it ended up kind of bad for her and a kind of a freak accident injury that she had. But her showing up might be a solid little pick for her to show up there and make a little bit of a run. I mean, because you got to push other women in the women's division because after the loss of, Becky Lynch, it's kind of fallen off. Ronda Rousey not being there, so you don't have enough, all that mainstream attention you had with Ronda Rousey. So you got to build up enough people, similar to how NXT builds their women division from the ground up, gives everybody their spot to shine, 3 months here, 3 months there for that person, 3 months for another person. So that's what they got to start doing. I think Chelsea Green coming back into the fold gives it like a really, really solid, piece to the puzzle for the women's division on the main roster.
That's very true. Kobe Talks, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining us, Kobe. I think with Chelsea Green, for me personally, she was doing. I liked her run with Robert Stone. Within what they were doing, I actually think that was a bit premature, bringing her up before she kind of really established herself within that. And then obviously there was the rumors that she was one of the people that was going to be in Retribution. Thank God they didn't saddle her with that. But, let's have a prayer for Mia Yim because she's got saddled with it instead. I would like to see Chelsea Green have a good run on the roster. I think SmackDown may be a better place for her than Raw. Raw's creative seems to be very messy. Even in the women's division, we've seen people that are pushed into singles positions like Peyton Royce hasn't really kicked on. This Lacey Evans thing with Ric Flair, I don't think it has legs, but we'll see what they make of that. I think SmackDown will be a safer place for her. But I think this could be a nice reintroducing of her to the main roster. Am I right in thinking she was in the Rumble last year, eliminated someone, and then got eliminated straight away?
That I'm not sure. If you guys in the chat remember that or can look that up real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like she was. Yeah, I kind of feel like she was. May have showed up last year.
I think I remember her coming in with Robert Stone. She eliminated. I can't remember who she eliminated, and then she got eliminated literally like seconds afterwards.
Could be a possibility. I can't remember it either. Yeah.
Yeah. So Arpit has just said here in the chat, Raw needs good female wrestlers. I can't watch Asuka have bad matches after bad matches, knowing how good she is. Yeah. That is a shame.
Yeah, with that being said, you remember how like legit Asuka was in NXT when she went on her undefeated streak in the NXT. I mean, she was fire as Asuka in NXT, and like her on the main roster has just been like ever since she lost, ever since that loss at WrestleMania against Charlotte, it's just been downhill.
It's completely stop start with Asuka, man, which is an absolute shame. Del Boy just confirming for us that she was in the Rumble, so she's not a stranger to it. It would be interesting to see her. It would be interesting to see this person who is my third pick. Someone that we were told maybe a couple months ago that she was returning to WWE, yet we have not seen her yet. And someone that has never been in a Rumble because women weren't doing Rumbles before when she was around. Eva Marie. Now, I don't know if she really is back in WWE or not, but if she is, again, this is a right place to reintroduce her, in my opinion. The Women's Rumble is always, there's not a lot of people that compete, so they're always pulling to get the legends in, and they use a lot of the NXT roster as well. If they are bringing Eva Marie back, this could be a good place to reintroduce her. What do you think, Anthony? Is this something, along with the rumors that she was going to rejoin WWE, is this something you can see happening?
I definitely see it happening because there were those rumors out there, right, that she was coming back, she was going to rejoin the company. If you follow her on Instagram, she's a good follow. She is in tremendous physical condition. She really is. So her look, on top of the fact, I mean, she never could wrestle. Maybe she's been training and she's gotten, serviceable at least in the ring, but she's never really been good in the ring. She never really had much training. It was based on her looks, pretty much, for Total Divas and stuff like that. So maybe she's done the work, and she's obviously done the work in the gym. She just needs to do the work in the ring. But it'll be pretty cool because there were rumors about her coming back. And I liked her gimmick. Remember, like, her gimmick before she left, where she had
walking in and walking out.
Yeah, and then the guy would say stuff like, she has like a guy saying stuff, right? Like, she's the most beautiful woman or something like that. And then she had the weird little, she's gonna start matches. She had a wardrobe malfunction. A bunch of weird stuff was happening, and then she just went away. So I kind of felt like they kind of could have had a decent little run with that. Again, they just need pieces. That's all they need. They need pieces for the puzzle that is the main roster women's situation. Yeah.
I mean, she's part of the reason. I mean, WWE as a company, they look at other things rather than just the wrestling as well. She's got the big social media following and the influence on there, which can help them some way, shape, or form. So I just see her as someone they could bring in, they could rely on. Let's see what people in the chat are saying. Arpit again confirming, Chelsea eliminated Dakota and got eliminated by Alexa. And Arfi, and I guess this is about Eva Marie. Arpit said, please no. Del Boy, Eva would bring Ice to the Rumble, even though she's ass cheeks.
Be honest with you, she can't get any worse than she was, right? So she can only improve. No? Right?
Yeah. And he agrees with you in terms of her last gimmick had so much potential.
It did. Honestly, it did have a lot of potential. It could have been very, very entertaining if they would have kept it going. Yeah,
I think it was just the heel heat that they were building. Exactly. The fact that she was almost gonna have a match and it never really came to fruition.
Yeah, and she knew that she couldn't wrestle, and it was just her looks, basically. She knew it. Like, that's the gimmick she was playing. It was good stuff. Yeah.
I brought up how credible she will be in terms of the social media world for WWE. Your next pick is someone I believe that WWE hinge a lot of their social media following on currently today. Someone we haven't seen for some time because she got injured shortly after Survivor Series, and we're talking about Lana. Lana won a Survivor Series match without getting involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do we dare see Lana win the Royal Rumble, entering maybe number 30 or 29 or something? Without actually, we get two women left in the Rumble, they throw themselves both out, and Lana wins the Rumble without touching anyone. What are you thinking here, Anthony?
Well, okay, so that being said, if they were to do that and have Goldberg win WWE Championship, I think they would actually have people stop watching them. Because a lot of people say, I'm done with WWE, I'm done with what they do, and then they continue to watch it over and over again, right? It's like they just keep going back, right? It's an addiction. But I think if they were to pull that off and Goldberg at the same night, it would actually happen. But Lana, she can be entertaining if you leave her by herself. You don't have to couple her with another guy unless it was Rusev, right? The only person that made sense. She got rid of the Russian gimmick, fine, but she can be entertaining if she could have a similar role to Billie Kay on SmackDown. Not the saying that she says entertaining is Billie Kay, because I find Billie Kay very, very entertaining and funny, right? The way he carries herself and the way she acts, right? She's perfect in that role. You could have a similar role for her on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, she has a massive, social media influence. There are the issues with her and her husband being in the opposite, company, but it's happened before with different people. But she has a strong following, and I mean, she looks great on TV. Let's just be honest. She's a beautiful woman. She looks great on TV. It all works, even though she's not that talented in the ring. She can always improve, and you can always highlight her strengths and try to hide her weaknesses, similar to the way pretty much Paul Heyman did to everybody in ECW. You could do that and work on the comedic or the more funny stuff, instead of trying to really focus her as like a legitimate contender for a title, because she's not. We all know she's not. But it'd be pretty funny to see her out there, and they could do a lot of interesting stuff. I wasn't a huge fan of the way they booked her Survivor Series, having her just kind of stand in the corner like a child, but it might be kind of funny in the Royal Rumble, to be honest with you. Not her winning. Let me say not her winning, but her doing something like that might be kind of funny, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see her turn up. And, a lot of people always say, why Lana, though? I had this conversation months ago with a friend, and he told me to do this thing, which I'm going to say now. And I've done it, and I was shocked, because if you go to WWE's YouTube, for instance, and you go and look at their videos in order of popularity, so from the most views to the least views, Lana appears in like the top 100 videos, maybe about 5 or 6 times, right? Now, you might think that's not a lot out of 100, but the only people that appear more than her is John Cena and Nikki Bella. Both people that have been in the company long before Lana even came. Yeah. So to think that Lana is third in that list with about 5 or 6 videos, that shows the kind of stuff. And it's all silly stuff. It's the stuff with Bobby Lashley. It's, her getting married. I think there was another silly angle that she was involved with not too long ago as well, before the Bobby Lashley stuff. But that is what they need Lana for, to drive those numbers up on different social platforms. We haven't seen her in a long time, so this could be a surprise, just like you're saying.
That's a really good point. Honestly, that's a really, really good point. I didn't even know that was actual thing like that. She was on the list that many times over, Cena and Nikki Bella. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's mad. Supine Smokey, thanks for joining us, bro. He said, yes, bring back all red. I guess he's talking about Eva Marie. Arpit says, imagine her being the person to come out last, and before she enters the ring, Nia and Charlotte or anyone else eliminates each other. Exactly. She walks into literally the last position and wins without even doing anything, without touching anybody.
I think actually something that would be interesting for the next comment is that she's number 30. The last 2 people eliminate themselves before number 30 comes out. She just walks in the ring and wins it.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, the only thing is they've said that there's going to be a match for number 30. Yeah. So she may be number 29, but this exact same thing can happen either way. Yeah. Kobe says the biggest mainstream women's wrestler are the ones with the looks. I mean, we can't deny that. And we know WWE like their blondes. So yeah, it's, mate, it can happen. Lana, and I think if at the very least, like you're saying, maybe she won't win, but they may give us a scare. They may leave her till really late and make us think, oh no, is Lana gonna get the win here?
Yeah.
But we have to move on, and this is the last pick, my last pick. This is someone that we haven't seen for the best part of maybe a year to 18 months now, I think. Last saw her in the main event of WrestleMania 35, Ronda Rousey. I have to throw Ronda Rousey in here for the sheer fact that her WWE contract is said to run out after WrestleMania or so this year, April, because she signed a 3-year deal. Like we said, she hasn't done anything for the last year or plus of that deal, but this may be the point to bring her back in, have a run until WrestleMania of some sort. And especially, again, we spoke about this yesterday with my Brock Lesnar pick on the surprise list, which you guys can see on Anthony's Rated R For Rasslin channel. Link in the description. We spoke about this for Brock Lesnar. For Ronda Rousey, the exact same thing. This could be her coming in to help with this move over to the NBC Peacock network. That's going to happen in the US as of March. Her to drive up the numbers. She is a draw in that sense. How likely do you think it is that we see Ronda Rousey? I was going to say see Anthony walk out of the Royal Rumble. See Ronda Rousey walk out at the Royal Rumble on Sunday.
It might be more likely that I show up than she does.
Oh, really? You don't think this could happen?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because she's been so like up or down, right, about what she wants to do with her future, right? She's talking about having kids, but she hasn't had any yet that we know of, anyways. That she's not, pregnant at the moment. But I don't really know what she wants to do. And remember, I believe she does stream, correct? Does she stream still? I believe she does like a Twitch channel, right?
I know she did, but I can't say I follow it, so I don't know if she still does it. But
so remember, she's gonna have to get rid of that if she does in WWE again. That's the whole thing, because WWE is like no third party stuff. So she may have a problem with that, because you know how she has a bit of a alpha, attitude. Now, she's money. I mean, you bring Ronda Rousey in, that's back up the Brinks truck, because that's money coming in right there, mainstream money. She's gonna be all over the place, and I don't know. She is not. It's good to have her in short spurts, similar to Brock Lesnar. She comes in, she probably wins the title, has a run with it, and then that's pretty much it. But I could definitely see her showing up. But how do you have her show up and not have her win? That's a tough one.
Very true. Very true. I don't know. Like, it depends. Maybe, like, I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments. I mean, let me just answer these comments, and then I think I'll kind of book what I'm thinking in my head. Alfie Rods, thanks for joining us. He says Ronda versus Asuka or Ronda versus Banks. Delboy says we need Ronda versus Asuka. Arpit, we have never got Asuka versus Ronda. Correct me if I'm wrong, so we can have that match. And Delboy just confirms that she does have Twitch. So this might be a bit far-fetched, but Asuka could enter the women's rumble. Obviously she's actually champion, isn't she?
Yeah, but she could do what Brock Lesnar did last year and still go in, try to just like, if she wins, nobody faces her kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of throws what I was gonna say out the way, but it could, I don't know, it could be something to kind of set that up in some way, shape, or form, since this seems to be a popular match that everyone wants to see, Ronda versus Asuka. Yeah, it's very difficult to put the likes of Ronda in and she doesn't win.
Yeah.
And that is a very good point. So yeah, maybe this isn't as likely, but I still think she's a possible name that WWE, they have on the books and could rely on.
Yeah, but with somebody like that, you can have her lose. The only way you can really have her lose, I mean, not win the match, is somebody kind of screws her over to get to start a feud with her, right? So like somebody that's eliminated already eliminates her from the outside, something like to that effect. You can go with something like that. Maybe, I mean, you never know. Maybe she shows up and Asuka's the one that gets her eliminated. Like maybe Asuka distracts her with her, like how she dances, like that, taunting her, and then somebody just tosses her over, and you could really go that route with it, and that could start the journey for Ronda, Asuka, like at WrestleMania, and you can have a SmackDown superstar win the Women's Rumble, so they have their shot at that championship, and then you have Ronda right there for the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, that's pretty much the only way I think you could actually book it without having Ronda get kind of hurt in the process.
Yeah, would be interesting to see. But yeah, guys, those are our picks. So we had 8 picks of surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble. I'll just roll down the list again. Tessa Blanchard, Taya Valkyrie, Trish Stratus, Rhea Ripley, Chelsea Green, Eva Marie, Lana, and Ronda Rousey. Let us know who you think is most likely to jump in the Rumble this Sunday. And like I said, Anthony, it's been great having you here. We done this on Anthony's channel, Rated R For Rasslin. Make sure you go and give that channel a subscribe and check it out. The video that we done, it's in the link the link is in the description. So yeah, any last words going forward to the Royal Rumble that you've got, Anthony, before we close up here?
I'm going with Bianca Belair. That's the only thing I can say at the end. I was going with Bianca and Keith Lee. I'm sticking with it, even though I gave kind of some sad news before, in the beginning of the video that, there might not be no Keith Lee, but I'm still going with Bianca Belair, especially after what she, how she beat Bayley on SmackDown. So I'm still going with that. That's my pick. Second, probably be Alexa, but
we see a couple guys last comments in the chat. Arpit, Rhea is most likely. Alfie Rods, I think Chelsea is cleared for injury, but probably Rhea as most likely to be in the Royal Rumble. Guys, one more time, Anthony, thanks for joining me here today. Please make sure you subscribe to Rated R Wrestling. If you haven't, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.